Member for Delta South.
Giant killer.
Madam Speaker, let me begin my remarks by congratulating you on your election as the Distinguished Speaker of the Assembly. You served an historic and crucial role in the debates and business of this House, and while the job of Speaker is sometimes difficult, you have all certainly ensured that honour remains with the Chair. Firstly, my staff and I must thank the officers and staff of the Legislative Assembly for the incredible support they have extended my office over the last 2 months. From the wonderful offices that the Speaker has assigned us to the very furniture on which we sit, we have been truly and well served by an extraordinary team of public servants. The clerk of committees, the Sergeant-at-Arms, the Comptroller, Hansard, WSI, Computer Services, the dining room, and even your own office has smoothed our way. We have counted on everyone, and suffice to say we are most grateful. It is with considerable humility that I for the first time ask for your recognition, Madam Speaker. Some have commented that I'm following in my father's footsteps. To them I reply with sincerity, the Honourable Ron Huntington is a difficult act to follow. My father was a respected parliamentarian who served as Chair of Public Accounts and who became the first elected Chair of the Progressive Conservative Party caucus. He served as Minister of Industry and Small Business, and upon retirement was appointed Chair of Ports Canada. My father was an individual who ardently believed in free enterprise, fairness, justice, good corporate citizenship, and social responsibility. And those are the footsteps I am committed to follow, Madam Speaker. My father shared his devotion to democracy with a good friend, Mr. Fred Gingell, a former member of this Assembly who represented Delta South with so much goodwill, intelligence, and distinction. Thank you. Mr. Gingell remains a beloved figurehead in my riding, and I note with gratitude that his memory is still held in universal regard by officers and members of this House. I would like to thank the retiring member from Delta South, Ms. Val Roddick, for her 9 years of service to this House. As Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Agriculture, Ms. Roddick was an outstanding representative for agricultural interests, which are so important to our riding and to the province as a whole. I must also acknowledge an honourable opponent during the recent election. The Honourable Wally Opal has been an outstanding servant, not only of this province, but of the judicial system of this country. He has a reputation that few can match and all can envy. It is my fondest wish that Mr. Opal continue to receive the recognition he is due, and that he again have the opportunity to serve British Columbia in a significant capacity. To the individuals who let their names stand in my constituency, I say that each was a candidate of high calibre and all deserve the appreciation of Delta South for their willingness to serve. And in that regard, I'm also pleased to congratulate my colleague from Delta North on his re-election to this Assembly. In my first speech to this Assembly, Madam Speaker, I cannot omit an acknowledgement of my second home, Gittin Max, the village of the night torch fishing people. Gittin Max is at the confluence of the Skeena and Bulkley rivers, known more widely perhaps as Hazelton. For 3 years, I was band manager of Gittin Max and had the privilege of being adopted by the late Mary Smith of Lachgaboo clan. I am grateful to the member of Stikeen for his words in Gitsan and for his acknowledgement of our relationship. I have only a small name, but I am proud wolf all the same, and I want to recognize my attachment to that place. Delta South also includes the Tsawwassen First Nation, who this spring concluded the first urban treaty in British Columbia. It was my pleasure to sit on the Tsawwassen provincial negotiating team on behalf of Lower Mainland local governments. The treaty is an achievement of which so many can be proud, and I would invite this House to extend its congratulations to Chief Kim Baird on her extraordinary leadership. Madam Speaker, I want to turn my remarks to the amazing people of Delta South, who set their sights on an unknown path and who have been willing to take a brave leap forward in this strange and appealing and oh so tender thing we call democracy. The people of my riding believe absolutely in free enterprise, in law and order, in paying their taxes, in participating in community, and in helping others. The residents of Delta South have faithfully supported the present government through thick and thin and over many years. In fact, they are a constituency well known for its steadfast and utter support for this government. They are voters who, in spite of being angry with government policies that nearly decimated our cherished hospital, continued to support the government. Nobody, especially myself, Madam Speaker, could have contemplated the massive change that 4 short years would bring to that extraordinary level of trust and commitment and loyalty. So what changed, Madam Speaker? What moved a community to turn its back on its traditional point of view, on its traditional support for government, to take an extraordinary step forward that is nothing short of historic, to take a chance on an independent candidate who decided something was wrong in the halls of power and that representation of the people had been subverted? In short, why did the good people of Delta South feel that supporting the government was no longer an option? Democracy is a funny thing, Madam Speaker. It's somewhat like the common law, resilient enough to change in the face of time, but fragile enough to fracture with abuse or neglect. I liken it to an invisible glass wall, strong yet fragile. And that is what happened in Delta South. The belief that government is for the people shattered. The belief that somewhere, somehow, someone would listen was finally broken. The government has treated Delta South as if it were fodder for government policy and a fiscal bottom line. When my father first arrived in Ottawa, he was told, "Mr. Huntington, if you think the country is run the same way as a business is run, you are in the wrong place." And in many respects, that is so. But you know something, Madam Speaker? Hardcore business people who only think of the bottom line and who treat their employees as second-class citizens are inviting trouble through slowdowns, lack of quality, and absenteeism. Good business people will work with and listen to their employees as they were part of the team and part of a common goal. They will work not just for the shareholders, but for the best possible environment for all involved in the enterprise. This government has failed to do that with the people of Delta South. It failed to see us as partners. It failed to protect the Brunswick Point farmers, men and women who endured expropriation and treaty negotiations and who now cannot get this government to let them buy back the land for the price offered to every other farmer in Delta. Men and women who have spent countless dollars to fight their own government in court. Where is the money in the lands budget to do the honourable thing, Madam Speaker? Nowhere. Where is the shift in policy that will see the government treat these century-old heritage farming families like the first-class citizens they are? Nowhere. Is this treating the people as if they shared a common goal?